Okay. I can see that my face cam isn't quite in the right place. My apologies for the startling silence for the first few minutes, but I had to do a little bit of grinding to get us to where we wanted to be today. Greetings, everyone. Swirling Vortex here, or Coin, or Steven. And welcome to another episode of Grim Dawn: Dawn of Masteries. This will be episode 9. I think I might not have edited the full broadcast message. I think this is still the 8th episode in description. That's wrong. It's the 9th episode. This morning was kind of hectic. But in the post video, that will be edited. You can be sure of that. Last time on Grim Dawn, Dawn of Masteries, we started going through the Broken Hills. We met a necromancer and their spirit companion along the way. And that spirit companion... the necromancer told us to settle a score with 3 old spirits. We did. We had to get through the Undercity. We went through the Undercity. We explored the optional stuff there. We managed to come out on the other side in the Broken Hills. We then proceeded to kill Lutra, the child of a dead spirit waiting on the other side. That child turned into a harpy. We killed her. Well, she was born that way, but we put her at rest. And then we proceeded to go through the Broken Hills. We also made it through the Steps of Torment. Well, we've gone through the first 2 floors of the Steps of Torment, and I showed you what a challenge dungeon is. I called them a forbidden domain. That name was incorrect. It's their challenge dungeons. There are 5 of them in the game, 4 of them in the base game, as far as I understand. And there's there is a sort of final challenge dungeon in the Forgotten Gods DLC. That is also, I failed to turn on a light in here. I mean, I'm well lit, right? Do I really need a light in here? Probably not. Anyway, sorry, I just noticed that. I sort of wiped on purpose. Today is dedicated exclusively, unless we clear it in one shot, we probably will not. But it will be dedicated to the challenge dungeon today, and regardless of our result, we will move on afterwards. I will say, this particular challenge dungeon, the Steps of Torment, is the first challenge dungeon. It's to give you a taste of just how difficult it is. In terms of preparation, I've made some additional preparations. I brought along all of our draughts, bombs, and elixirs or oils. Most of these are available on a 450 or 600 or 900 second timer. And so that's fine. We want the Arcanum oil on our hotbar. The oil is what lasts 30 seconds. And of course, I need to pause this game while the elixirs are ticking down. But yes, I went through and made sure that we had 20 sticks of dynamite, 1 skeleton key. We could make more if we need them. A skeleton key is required each time you enter the challenge dungeon. Additionally, there's something else that I didn't mention in the challenge dungeon, and that is the fact that it's a roguelike dungeon. So, remember before how I think in the first episode I said that the rooms were procedurally generated, and then I quickly recanted that statement a few episodes after, maybe 4 or 8, one of those 2 numbers. I said something along the lines of, well, the map is stable, but the enemies are random. There are randomly generated dungeons in here. Not everything is randomly generated, but the challenge dungeons are. What you find at the end is not. Just a full-on disconnect. That is unfortunate. But at least we're still playing. Anyway, I halted my sentence and then partially forgot it. But I suppose the point is that you'll see what I mean when I say the ending of this particular dungeon is not random. So typically during these, I'm going to have to focus a little more on whatever is contained within. So I might not be that chatty. We're going to see. As you can see, the opening we went through here is a little bit different. Where we actually don't have a choice except to go left. I believe the last time we went through here, we did have a choice. But let's just get to it, shall we? I've brought our materials. I'm all flasked up. The flasks don't necessarily mean... Oh, one other change I think I'm going to talk about is I adapted our setup slightly. We do have less incoming energy than we did before. 20% less or so. But in exchange, we have... I put on a devotion rune. We actually have something like a 20 to 25% chance for critical attack. So having a rune that will trigger off of the critical attack will be fantastic. And that's like fire and aether damage in vortex form. It's great. Now, in terms of where we're supposed to go, so far it doesn't seem to be funneling us in too many particular directions. Also, yes, our casting speed has been greatly adjusted. We could cast super fast. And with all the upgrades we've made to our gear, this isn't counting the upgrades to come. We are far more effective at dealing with enemies than we ever were before, which is just fantastic. I believe that little line of fire right there might have been the start of the reckless vortex. So this is just fantastic. I think the only thing we're gonna really have to fear are traps, bosses, and also we don't want to be looting greens in here. That's a no-no. We don't do that. I have a nice rule about that, and I recommend you set yourselves up not to overfill your bags with gear. Filling your bags with gear you are only going to sell anyway, when you can't even teleport into or out of the premises, is just bad. It's bad design. Like, it's a bad gameplay decision. Don't do it. Do continue to open the chests, though. Just gonna teleport out of there before things get nasty. Someone was hurling, vitality bolts at us, and we would have died. What did I just say, Coin? Don't pick that stuff up. I have to remind myself sometimes not to, do certain things. Also, do we have the music on? We do. Remember, a lot of the tracks in here are going to be ambient noise, which means you really only have yours truly to talk to. And that's okay, I'll do my best to keep you company. So, we're 9 episodes in. I didn't think, honestly, I didn't think we'd be as far along as we are in episode 9. I actually kind of figured that the game would be unstable and it would crash, but we've made a number of adjustments over the course of this playthrough that it's not as likely that we're running into technical issues now. We are still getting crashes every so often, but that's just the nature of what you sign up for with modding. You can't ever make the crashes zero. That's not something you as an end user get the luxury of doing. Like, it's nice when it happens, but you can't rely on it. Also, the point of all these elixirs, by the way, is to just kind of, make our time in here easier. I would say the challenge dungeons are the one place you really don't want to hold anything back. Not even for a second. Because having, like, 50% extra elemental damage, having 15%, physique, cunning, spirit, having like 10 or 25% additional offensive ability is just fantastic. Sorry, just trying to, like, you know, outsmart the system here. We should be good to step in here now. I heard something teleport. And there are totems in here? Wow. I really hope this isn't going to be like this all day. I'm going to have to ask what folks are doing out there in the living room. I think people are streaming like film or something, and that's making it really hard to stream. I don't know. I'm just gonna make sure I don't have. No, I don't have anything using internet on my side, so it's either the drop packets are really bad today, which I could believe that, or okay, we've picked up a trap. Unfortunate. Either the drop packets are bad or something is being streamed. I do not recall YouTube being this unstable today. Or like ever. Right, believe we go around. It is very possible that our time in here will get increasingly rougher as we continue to make our way through these rooms. As there were some elixirs I only had a single copy of. Alright, just gonna put out the storm crystals, trigger whatever is buried in this room. They'll be coming again. That is nice. I've been trying to keep an eye on when OBS is detecting, like, just a complete disconnect. And I stop just as soon as I see that. I don't even speak during those drop frames, because it's... what I say isn't going to come out right. Oh, there were 2 points. We apparently forgot to spend those. Let's fix that. I apparently leveled during the mini grinding process we had earlier. And just didn't spend anything. Alright. Through here. That is not good. That might have been a really stupid decision I made just now. Can't even collect that until it's over. Oh, music to my ears. Music to my ears. Oh, sorry. I had to sneeze there. Hopefully no one heard that, but if you did, I'm really sorry. Well, I know blowing out your eardrums isn't a particularly good practice. Floor 5 entrance. Okay, we've made it through the floor. Congratulations. We have made it past suffering. And instead we're going to move on to what? Misery? Anguish? A vacation? I don't know. Something along those lines. I sincerely hope that... well, I mean, I want to challenge. I was kind of expecting this to take all day. It did when I played in the base game. It is possible that our build is just too good. And we need to keep going. Okay, it's Anguish. Alright. Yeah, we're starting to lose buffs. Let's go ahead and... I suppose we can keep going. I should try to be efficient about this. And just kind of wait for all these to drop off. Because our offensive abilities is really about to take a nosedive. 3, 2... The only thing is the elixir of the aether. Yeah, that's it. Just this. A 900 second casting like an item. Alright. One of these. One of these. The shape of the bottle more or less tells you well, some of the shape of the bottle tells you what you need to know. And that royal jelly bomb. Let's go ahead and get that in there. Alright, there we go. Let's keep moving. This is what you want to save your potions for. Is this. Make your life easy, not hard, when you're in here. Do everything you possibly can to make these sorts of places easier on yourself. I didn't when I went through this the first time off camera, and I paid a price. I think I died like 10 times. I even went through and ground up like the remaining 3 keys for the last 3 attempts just to come through here, and it wasn't great. That was definitely a lot of time I just didn't get back. I don't recommend it. You know, only go in these if you have the time. Treat them like, oh, see, yeah, treat them like the greater rift they actually are. They're very difficult. All right, let's just clear out the immediate area. All right, and we should be good now. So this is Masteries. They do sell things. If you make it to this point, which should be no small feat, you will get Death Whisper ointment. If you don't have this recipe, I do recommend buying it. So make sure you come in here with bits. But Masteries also just does not take. He doesn't take your gear. He is not a actual real vendor. So be careful about that. Nice trap. I can't believe I just... I'll have to refresh that aether elixir pretty soon. Another dead end. Yeah, you're going to see a lot of these in the Arcovian asset set. Just or the Undercity asset set. A lot of dead ends. You just kind of have to accept it, that they're going to be dead ends. And just move on. So anyone else here like the Undercity? Like the Undercity assets? How does Grim Dawn look to you guys? Does it look pretty? I sure hope so. I have it at the highest possible settings. Granted, I'm only, you know, streaming at 4,500 kilobytes per second, but... You know, I sure hope it looks good. There's no lagginess, everything looks as sharp as it should be, etc., etc. Although I don't have an extremely good capture card or anything. Are you gonna stop? Okay, thanks. Appreciate that.
That skill's not ready.
Yeah, the nice thing about our build is we could go through the bars. Although every single one of these rooms... Yep, see, I'm going to do some setup right now. Come on, where are ya? And that's both of them. Don't grab those, coin. I keep telling myself not to grab them, and the tendency is to just do it. I'm something of like a loot gremlin. I want to avoid using the W word if I don't have to, even though that is the lexicon I'd use when I'm talking with my friends. No, I'm something of a loot gremlin. I love picking up loot. It's really hard to stop doing that in things like Skyrim or Diablo, or picking up every little single thing I can get in an MMO or a or in like a Soulsborne. I'm constantly looking for stuff. I do like shiny things, but I do like watching numbers go up. I am an RPG player at heart, but I know that that is not an efficient use of time. It's great. I love RPGs. Anyone else love RPGs? I'm not sure I would describe this as an RPG in the strictest sense, but you do have the incremental increases in power. You do have gear. You do have a story. You are playing as a character. You are interacting with the world. I'd call it an RPG. It's just not a turn-based RPG or like a... you do level up. Like, it fits the hallmarks. It's just because it's not in the... You know, you have a pause screen that you level up from. It doesn't... It's missing a couple of things that, you know, check off everybody's boxes about it being a RPG, but I certainly think it is one. I don't know. How loose do we want to be with the definition of RPG, though? Some people would call Legend of Zelda an RPG, and I would hesitate to call it that, mainly because the rest of the world describes it as an action platformer. So we should fit that description. We should use it. But it is a role-playing game. You are playing a role. It's just the character is fixed. That's all. In this case, you're playing Link, not Zelda. You're playing... The story is about a particular family's, like, lineage, and, like, the tales and adventures they have, or the things that happen to them. That's where the legend part comes in. Speaking of which, who's excited for Tears of the Kingdom? Also, I just realized that I'm too far to the right. Or too far to the left, and I'm obscuring that portion of the screen. I have fixed this. Okay. Elixir number 2. I think there are like 3 or 4 floors. That should be about it. There should only be 3 to 4 floors. And then after that, oh geez, what a risk. Want to be careful about that. Let's use the teleporting to make our journey a little bit shorter. I don't like using defensive cooldowns this way, but it is a space closer. We should use it. Alright, this is the part where we gotta be really careful. We're gonna explore everything else first. I know what I said before about don't go into every little room in the challenge dungeon. You will die, and I do stand by that. I absolutely stand by that. Don't throw your life away over coin or gear that you could get by playing the game normally. Don't do that. But you guys are looking for content. You guys are looking for some content. You want to see adversity, struggle, carnage. And I aim to give that to you today. Mainly in the form of, you know, Coin doing silly things, or things that he would describe as being silly, and then showing the results. This is also a Let's Play. I want to show you things that maybe you shouldn't do. I might mention a good reason for them, but some things, some actions, some instructions don't stick without a good, proper, physical example. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's the human condition. Humans love to, you know, ignore the written warnings just to see what would happen. Just to see if there's anything else. For science, right? We have to experiment. Know the unknown. That kind of thing. I don't know. Sometimes you should just read the warning label and skip the pain. We're going to go ahead and do ourselves a favor and sort of refresh these now. Realize it's kind of a waste, but... Alright. Let's be smart.
That skill's not ready.
Yeah, just don't even play it normally. Alkimos's Anguish. Well, hey, we did it. Look at how easy that boss was. We got a neat ring. Neat. Along with, you guessed it, a teleporter on the way in. A nearby monolith stirs. We could go ahead and pick up these. We really didn't get as much as I wanted to out of this. I surely thought there was going to be, like, text at the end waiting for us. Maybe that's changed. I was expecting it to be the mega dungeon of choice. And it didn't happen. We were in and out within half an hour. More or less. As soon as the stream actually started, there was like 5 minutes of waiting, about another 5 to 10 minutes of exposition, and then, yeah, we basically spent 20 minutes. Just awful. Man, now I can't label, now I gotta come up with other crap to do. This is what happens when you rely on memory to do these things. Well, we came out of it with what? A couple of things? Yeah, just a couple. All that powering up? Unnecessary. Oh, I wouldn't say unnecessary. Maybe there would be a different story if, you know, it were necessary. But that's whatever. That's kind of not a big deal. We're going to enjoy the increased power while we have it. Imagine just soaring through quest material and, like, breaking a whole act today. I mean, that's not going to happen. It is really not going to happen anytime soon. Because we still got to walk all the way back to where we were and then go from there. Can use the teleport to make it faster. And indeed, we should be doing that. If you're not in a... If you're careful not to just, you know, walk into a nest full of enemies, you can probably teleport fine. Just look at how easily we shred through things. I tell you, our build is very, very hot stuff right now. But your mileage with builds may vary. Like, I probably have an okay time with my Nosferatu, like, Vitality build through the same space. But my, you know, my Arcane Stalker, not so much. I get the feeling she would actually struggle in there. Of course, your mileage varies depending on level, but some damage types just aren't well like, not damage types, but like combination of damage types isn't well supported. You'd think that Aether and Pierce being like really common damage types would be heavily supported. Oh, And that's something else too. I did turn off the Grimace settings while we were here. We'll be fixing that. We'll be fixing that momentarily. Because that's why the game is not offering us any resistance. Because we don't have any, we don't have extra mob density to worry about. So first thing we're going to do is exit to main menu. Well, actually before that, we actually need to set up Grimace, and go from there. Move all that back. Move this back. And we can go ahead and just do a little bit of inventory cleaning. Just a little. Doing this is generally a good thing. Want to make sure you're managing your inventory. Anything else? Yeah, one of these.
I'll keep an eye on this.
Alright, Nyborg.
Hey, do we have any of that
1,
Nyborg left?
2, 1, 2. Generally 2 and 2 I feel pretty happy about. You're gonna have new inventory in just a second, bud.
See you around.
Alright. It felt kind of lackluster, right? Without the actual real settings. Also, this is not indicative of what the character looks like. So, if you have some things that aren't recognized by the, like the base armor pool, or like the base asset pool in, Grim Dawn, it will just load your character up in their breeches. This is the breeches. These are what the breeches look like. Here are the pants. Here's the, you know, the wife beater t-shirt or tank top. Yeah, that's what it is. Here's the tank top. Great. I do love a good cream soda. I love Cheerwine more, but there's nothing wrong with cream soda or Sprite or a few other kinds of sodas. Pretty good stuff. Hopefully, how am I sitting on? So, I hate to do this to us, but I need to go ask a few questions regarding what's going on outside. I will be right back. So sorry about that, folks. Not sure what's going on. I mean, it's not a streaming service that's going on out there. It was HBO Max, which is through like cable service. I don't think that has anything to do with I don't think that has anything to do with the internet service. I've already closed out everything that depends on the internet that isn't, you know, Discord or the game itself. So it's either we're just experiencing drop packets, or it's, you know, voice meter needs to go through the IPv6 connection, and that takes up a lot of it's taken up a lot of space. In fact, let me check something while I'm here. Just kind of make sure that Steam is doing a sale right now. If anyone likes Honey Pop, however you say it, it's there. If I look at this and go to, it's not the VBAN, it's the settings. Interesting. So I'm not sure. The only other thing I could think of that's going on is I haven't updated my Windows because I'm afraid it'll wipe out the voice meter potato settings. And it might be that. It might be voice meter saying, hey, I'm gonna be giving you all kinds of hell because you didn't update Microsoft. I don't know. I'm being a stupid, ignorant ID10T computer user right now. I might need to stop the stream, like stop the broadcast. Go update the computers. They both need an update. And figure out what else I can do. I don't want to give you guys garbage. The disconnects have happened 3 times. 3. Awful. Just awful. Yeah, the more I'm thinking about it, the more I think it's just a good idea to just stop. Go update the computers, and we'll have to start over again. That's what I'm thinking. I mean, we're not going to start over. I will keep this in. I'll make like a part 2 or something. Which will take me like another 15-20 minutes. But my intention is to keep streaming. I just need to get to the bottom of the drop packets, because it's usually not this bad. It's usually not this bad. YouTube is usually pretty stable. Okay. Kind of a short stream. Don't go anywhere. I'm gonna actually type that out. Okay, I've typed that out now. So, yeah, I'll see you guys in 15 to 20 minutes. I'll have to re-edit the thumbnail and upload a separate stream. Alright, see you guys at the end of all this.